Hey, Hope Church, it's Pastor Paul, and I'm here with your daily dose of hope. I'm going to tell you another one of the resurrection stories. This is the story, I think it's probably my favorite story about the resurrection. It's the disciples on the road to Emmaus. They had seen or heard about the crucifixion of Jesus, and they were headed back home. To me, that represents this idea of, I've given up. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was full of disappointment, discouragement, and they're on their way to Emmaus, to their old life. They've given up on this following Jesus thing. And what I think is interesting, as they're talking, a fellow traveler appears with them and talks with them and encourages them and asks them what had happened. And they said these words, "We had hoped." And then they told the story of what they had hoped of Jesus. The interesting thing as they're journeying is that Jesus is with them the whole time and they're unaware. He is there and they are unaware. I think about how many times in my life that Jesus promises over and over and over in the scriptures that I will never leave you or forsake you. And I think of how many times in my life am I on a journey going someplace and I'm unaware that the Lord is there. And that he's never left me. That he loves me. So these followers of Jesus, they go and they journey and then ask Jesus to stay with them. And then he breaks bread and their eyes are opened. And then they head back to the other followers and they hear the words, "It is true, he is risen. It is true, he is risen." And they affirmed that because they had been with Jesus. Let me read Luke chapter 4, beginning with verse 13. Now that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. They were talking with each other about everything that had happened. As they talked and discussed these things with each other, Jesus himself came up and walked with them. But they were kept from recognizing him. He asked them, "What are you discussing together as you walk along?" They stood still, their faces downcast. One of them, named Cleopas, asked, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem and do not know the things that have happened there these days?" "What things?" he asked. "About Jesus of Nazareth." They replied, "He was a prophet, powerful in word and deed before God and all the people. The chief priests and our rulers handed him over to be sentenced to death, and they crucified him." And then they go on and they talk about that journey. I want to encourage you today. Would you look up Luke chapter 24, verse 13, and read the rest of this story? Because it's amazing. Here's the thing that I want to remind us of. Even though we're not aware, he is there. Because he is risen. He is risen indeed. Lord bless you.